What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp. We're back again with
Sparky's back.
Like he never left. And today we're going to be talking about 300 Blackout versus 6.5 Grendel for deer hunting or hunting in general, I guess. We've got both of them here. We have actually both of these are Palmetto rifles.
Imagine that.
Interesting.
It's not a rifle.
Pistol.
Watch out.
Disclaimer. All right, and speaking of disclaimers, neither of these were sent out. I paid for both of these with my own money, so this is not a sponsored video. Second thing, if you do want to help out Basement Operator Company, that is our apparel line. They got little toboggans and whatnot.
Protector?
Oh yeah, well, I'm not going to say it protects anything, but it keeps it warm. So you can go check that out, basementoperator.com, down in the description, first link. There you can check us out. It would mean a lot to us, okay?
So warm my heart.
Yeah, it warms Sparky's heart, and if you buy a sweatshirt, it'll warm you. So let's dive right into it. If you're watching this, that means you're probably curious which one's better for deer hunting or hunting in general, the 6.5 Grendel or the 300 Blackout. Both of them have been around for a good amount of time now.
Relatively mainstream.
Both of them, are relatively mainstream. You can find them pretty much in
Most gun stores.
Most gun stores. Grendel might be a little bit harder to find than 300 Blackout, but for the most part, they're fairly popular and spark a debate on whether or not which one you should get. So we're going to start by talking about the 300 Blackout. So this 300 Blackout right here is a little short-barreled pistol. This has like a, I don't know.
7.5?
7.5, I think it was. It was really short. We have a 10 we have a 10-inch can on this one. We're running an MD25 red dot from Primary Arms as well as a magnifier from Primary Arms. Unfortunately, the Primary Arms red dot's discontinued. And then an SBA 3 brace. So awesome little pistol build. I've had it for quite some time now. And
I hear a lot.
Yep, and it's a good build. It's a good little rifle. Moving on to this one, and to talk about this rifle a little bit before we dive into the specs and the features.
The pros and cons.
The pros and cons. This is a PSA 6.5 Grendel. This one has an 18-inch barrel and adjustable gas block. This was one of the ones I bought. I actually bought this on my honeymoon. I bought the upper, and then I just got a blim lower. This lower was stupid cheap, like 125 bucks. I put a CTR stock on it when we were looking for all the CTR stocks. Here's one of them.
There's one.
And this has kind of been my go-to hunting rifle for a while now. This is actually the first year I haven't taken it deer hunting because I was testing the 6mm, but this is that's the build for it.
It's pretty run-of-the-mill.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic 6.5 Grendel. There's nothing crazy about it. I did add this eBay comp to it.
Shoot, yeah.
Yeah, that needs to come off. So those are the kind of the specs we're working with here. Let's dive into the specifics. So
this subject is assuming you're going to hunt with an AR.
Yeah, then this is also assuming you're going to hunt with an AR. You can buy 300 Blackout in bolts. I know the Ruger American has one.
300 Blackout. You can also get the Grendel, which you can get it in, I don't know if Ruger makes one yet, but I know CZ makes a nice little 6.5
Grendel.
Yeah,
bolt.
Little woodstock bolt action.
Yeah. So we're basically referring to ARs here. So let's start out with range. All right, and this is probably the biggest one.
And this whole thing honestly just depends. Well, it's another one that just depends.
Yeah, but I think we can come to a conclusion which one's better overall, though.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
So in terms of range, for the Grendel, it's really how far are you willing to shoot? Because you can push a Grendel pretty far. I think 650, 700 yards is a good push for a Grendel. It's when you're probably stretching your legs, probably to the max, if I had to guess. I mean, maybe not, but I know it's probably hitting next to nothing when you're pushing.
And number one is that's not an ethical shot on an animal anyway.
Now be careful there, Sparky. Some out west hunter is about to blow you out the water here. It was I take a shot at 1,200 yards on my elk with
elk, and I aim about 3 feet over his back. And
hey, well, it is what it is. But for the most part, the effective range is probably 650, 700 yards on the Grendel. Yeah. I personally would never take that shot.
Me neither.
No. The furthest shot I would take with a Grendel would probably be 300 to 400 yards max.
Maybe. And it'd have to be a
Well, I
stud.
think it'd probably have to be about 300 yards, and I'd have to really want him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm just thinking of like when we go out to the farm and shoot, like what would I be willing?
350.
Yeah,
That's what we was looking at the other day. It was 350 yards ish. If they came into that, we'd maybe pull the trigger.
Send one their way. So that's kind of the effective range of this. The effective range of this is like
the truck.
Yeah, that first shot post over there. So we have statistics here. You start to really get some serious drop on the 300 Blackout.
Yeah, but this is also going to depend on your barrel length and all that kind of good stuff. But your velocity, that's all all that depends. But on this is from Hornady, shooting a 110 grain 300 Blackout. They're I guess black. Yes, that would be. Your foot pounds at 100 yards is 1,079, and then when you go to 300 yards, it's 639.
Yeah, so your
foot pounds.
So and all that has to relate to velocity and thus how much holdover you have to do. So we were talking about foot pounds here, but you can work backwards from foot pounds and then velocity and then the amount of holdover you're going to have to use. And I mean, you're
getting to the point you're lobbing the bullet down.
Yeah, so like 300 yards is probably the probable max. And even then, you're holding over pretty high.
Yeah.
On a 300 Blackout. I would say for the most part, this is a 100 to 200 yard max shooter, especially if you're getting a short barreled pistol or rifle, if you're going the SBR route, whatever you're doing, you really don't get the range that you get out of the 6.5 Grendel, and that's one of the reasons I would recommend the Grendel over a 300 Blackout. But there's other pros.
The Blackout would be a perfect setup for in the woods, which you're going to be shooting 50 to 100 yards anyway in the woods, and 1 point sling, small compact weapon like that. You wouldn't have to be suppressed. I mean, if you want to, go for it, but
yeah. So that leads us into the other pro and con. So definitely, if you're talking range, the Grendel wins.
Yes.
If you're talking
because what's the energy, and which correlates to velocity and all that kind of bullet drop, all that kind of stuff. At 100 yards, you're looking at 1,605,
and then take it that 300
and then
yard.
the 300, it's 1,217. So it's holding. It's compared at 300 yards with 300 Blackout. It was going to be 639.
Yeah, it almost halved.
Yeah, pretty much. So you got twice the amount of energy at the same range. But like I said, all that's going to depend on your barrel length and what you're shooting.
So moving on from effective range, let's talk another aspect of these rifles is ammunition availability. Okay, so I think this is kind of what pushes a lot of people in one direction or the other. I know a guy I work with recently bought a 300 Blackout, and one of the reasons he went with 300 Blackout, because it is so much easier to acquire good hunting ammunition for a 300 Blackout compared to something like a 6.5 Grendel or any of like the more obscure, even like moving on from the Grendel, like the 6.8, the 6mm arc.
Stuff's hard to find.
The more specialized rounds are much harder to find, and not as many people make them. For example, the 6.5 Grendel, this one I use pretty much exclusively Hornady ammunition out of it, because not very many manufacturers make Grendel ammo in general. So I use the Hornady SSTs. They aren't very easy to find, especially when the pandemic hit. They kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. I found them at Whitetail one time and just like
bottom up,
cleared out. It set me back about a few months, but it is what it is. And that's one of the reasons people sometimes don't push Grendel and kind of move more to the 300 Blackout here, is because you can find 300 Blackout ammo pretty easily, even at like your big box stores like Dick's or Royal King, Bass Pro Shops. You'll be able to find.
I've been able to find it at Walmart. Go figure.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
Yeah. And you can find it everywhere, even at Walmart. So the availability to have ammunition is probably one of the bigger drivers to the 300 Blackout. And a lot of the people can justify buying a 300 Blackout also for like a home defense gun. Whereas the 6.5 Grendel, for the most part, you're getting an 18-inch to 20-inch barrel. It's a larger rifle. You're going to put a more magnified optic on it, and you're not getting the duality of it be kind of tapping into the home defense. Of course you can.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can put an LPVO on it, and you can still have that 18-inch barrel and do whatever you want to do with it.
Just be mindful.
Yeah, be mindful. But I mean, like this itty bitty little pistol here with a red dot on it, a suppressor, and you being able to find some subsonic ammo for $2 a shot, and being able to find it, it's a lot more attractive to people when they're looking for maybe one gun.
It all depends on what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah, it all depends on what you want
to,
and how much you want to shoot it.
Exactly.
Like if
you be more of a plinker.
Yeah,
could be more of a plinker than the Grendel. I mean, you could definitely plink the Grendel all day long. Go for it
if you can find ammo.
If you can find ammo for it,
and how deep your pockets are.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's one of the benefits of a 300 Blackout over top of a Grendel is the ability for it to be a more plink, fun range gun. Whereas for the most part, a lot of people get their Grendels and they zero them. They might shoot them a little bit of distance, but they're not taking them and shooting them a lot. Just because you can't. Yeah. And if you want to shoot them a lot, you want to shoot your gun a lot.
Be competent with it.
Well, you could be competent and not shoot it a ton. You know, like, yeah, I could be competent with this one, and I don't shoot it that much.
Yeah, but the guy that shoots it more, is more proficient with it, is going to outperform you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, but you're buying it for a hunting gun.
I know, I'm just saying. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is, but then again, this is a hunting video, Sparky.
And I'm just saying.
Well, anyway, so that's one of the pros to a 300 Blackout over top of a 6.5 Grendel, to give them both kind of like an even playing field in terms of...
This is definitely an uneven matchup.
Yeah.
In the sense that this is made for, you're typically buying a Grendel to shut your legs a little bit, take, hunt a field. You can be hunting in the woods, but like this round's designed for a little bit for more range. 300 Blackout was never meant for that.
300 Blackout
was meant to be suppressed.
Was meant to be suppressed, and was meant to be, kind of a close distance.
Because if you got a 300 Blackout 18-inch barrel, I'd hate.
Yeah. No need for that. And it's kind of been adopted in the civilian world as a kind of 30 caliber hunting round, where it initially was meant to be a 30 caliber hunting people round instead of a deer round. So it's kind of branched over. Can you think of any other pros and cons to either of them that you might consider?
It's all about the application. Like if you're going to be if you're going to be hunting in the woods, longest shot might be 100 yards. There's no reason to have a Grendel.
Yeah.
And the benefits to the Grendel are past 100 yards.
Yeah.
So
and any need to stretch your legs.
Exactly. Yeah. The 300 Blackout's perfect for inside that.
And for a lot of people here in like Southwest Virginia that hunt a lot of wooded areas, you climb up in a tree stand and you got a 50-yard shot. Your 300 Blackout's going to do work.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic for that. And now you could get a Grendel and
and still use it.
You could get shorter, like a 12-inch or a 10-inch, and run as an AR pistol.
Yeah, and Palmetto makes those.
And it will do perfect for this. They'll do the same thing. They'll be perfect within 100 yards. But it all depends on your application.
Yeah, and how much you like we'd said, how much you want to shoot it, where you're hunting, and how it's very user specific. But I guess in all, I would recommend most people to a Grendel.
You have more options in the Grendel because Grendel will obviously do well within 100 yards. But then if you by whatever chance you want to go out and hunt a field edge or something like that, and if you want to have the option to take on targets at longer range, the Grendel is the best option. You got a lot more. You got a lot more opportunity with the Grendel because the round can do more
and stretch further.
Exactly. Now you can definitely take the shot with 300 Blackout. You're just gonna be lobbing that thing down there.
Yeah.
But it'll do the job. But it's just this will do that job better,
more effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah. When a lot of people ask me, I'm obviously favored more towards the Grendel. And I tell them a lot, if you want better all performance out of your rifle in terms of distance, in terms of hitting harder.
Energy, yeah.
Yeah, the Grendel will do it. Now 300 Blackout will do it in that 100 yards, but it's losing velocity fast.
Quick, yeah.
And then in return losing foot pounds, and then the overall smack it's delivering to the
target. Because if you made a slightly off-target shot, you know, with 300 Blackout, with it going so much slower, you're losing a lot of energy. So, you know, you're gonna have, you know, it should be more. The Grendel's gonna cause a little more damage. You know, if it is an off shot or whatever. And
that's assuming you're shooting the same type of bullet and like
all the velocity, you know, that'd be some, you know, head-to-head comparison. It had to be, everything has to be exactly the same.
Golly, that'd be an intense test.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like sourcing ammo that's so like as close as you could get it? I guess you'd just pick a Hornady SST.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in conclusion, I recommend do more research on each of these to like tailor to your specific scenario. But for the most part, I would recommend people towards a 6.5 Grendel just because it has more flexibility in terms of you can shoot close and longer ranges. The only downside really is buying the ammo. But as manufacturers pick up, I mean, we're coming into 2023 and Grendel ammo is starting to become more I guess sourceable. I've noticed it on more websites like Kerr Ammo. I noticed they had the SSTs and the blacks. Both of them are very good in terms of being a good Grendel ammo. And then the Fort Scott, I think is what it is. They make a 6.5 Grendel ammo too. I don't know if Norma does. Fusion does.
I don't recall. Yeah, I know.
Or Federal Fusion.
Yeah.
They have a 6.5 Grendel. I'm trying to think of who else has a Grendel. Not that many people have a Grendel.
Wolf Performance, that's FMJs. They make a soft point though.
I've never
Wolf
seen
Performance makes a soft point. But
anyway, yeah, that's your plinking round for your
Grendel.
For your Grendels, the Wolf Performance. If you just want to go out there, I mean, you kind of the groups are kind of like this.
Well, that's almost a lung on a deer again.
Yeah, it's close enough. So that's my overall recommendation. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys picked up something from it. Gist of it: 300 Blackout, can't hit anything far. And if you can, that's awesome for you. And plenty of ammo opportunities. Grendel, really versatile in terms of distance, short and longer range options, but the ammo is a little bit harder to source, but I think it's worth it to be able to have have the options and diversify. So I think that about does it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button. Also, go check us out on Instagram. My link will be down below there. You can follow me, and then you can find a photo of Sparky, and he'll be in that one. You can follow him. So we appreciate everybody for watching. As always, take someone outdoors. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.